The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Phixated Podcast. I am your host, Mike Azalina, and I am joined by a guy who I consider to be a really close friend. And we've gone on trips together, but you know what? We've never held hands and clenched one another in that way on those trips. Regz, you and I, very different than a certain NFL reporter and NFL head coach. Our friendship.
We've held hands before.
I don't know if it's been as romantic as that.
I don't know. We've had some moments.
Listen, I need you to not. I need you to say that we are not like Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini here.
No, we are not like those two. We are not.
I mean, can we? We need to pause here for a second.
Yeah.
I have been destroying this woman's credibility for 2 years.
Yes.
And she just made me and many others look brilliant.
Listen. We say this a lot. We try and be very clear when we're speculating on something, right? Or when we're wildly making something up. I want to be very clear here. I usually go into these things giving most people the benefit of the doubt, unless it's truly obvious. I was good until they had the picture of them holding double hands together. You know what I mean? I can't say, in my life or my experience, that regardless of how good a friend I was with someone, that without my wife present, right, that I would embrace someone that way of the opposite sex. It'd be hilarious if I did it with you, obviously. It would just be funny. But of the opposite sex, without my wife sitting right there at the pool with me, you know what I mean? And jokingly being like, ha ha ha, look at me and my friend holding hands. I can't imagine being alone with someone and holding hands and smiling the way they were. Right. All the other pictures, you're sitting at the pool with somebody. You could be sitting at the pool with a million people, right? It is what it is. Maybe, I don't know where their significant others are. That's not for me to speculate, right? That's not for me to say. You could very easily be like, we were just by the pool. There were 6 other people. You didn't get them in the photo. We understand why this looks the way it looks, right? We were part of a group. Everyone was at the pool together. You got a good picture, right? Good for you. You got a picture that looked a certain way. The holding hands and the smiling thing, that's what put me over the edge. I was like, yeah, that's not a normal thing you do when you're just hanging out with a buddy. That's not a normal thing you do.
And here's the other thing, and we can move on off of this.
Yes,
because they're not worth our time. But you want to say you were on a trip, right, with friends and all this stuff. Tell me that we've gone on guys trips.
Yeah.
And
bachelor parties.
Andrea's gone on bachelorettes and girls trips. One thing I can say for certain is that it wouldn't have been hard to produce a photo of any of our trips together.
No.
And all she had to do was he had to do was say, yeah, look, here's a photo of us with my boys and me and me with my girls, and neither one chose to do that. So it's really difficult to believe and feel for either of them, because what they did is
I really was giving them the benefit of the doubt until I scrolled to that picture specifically. Yeah. I was like, oh, we were so close. We were so close to this looking fine. Yeah, that one hurt. That one hurts.
Now, yeah, right in the pockets.
Yep.
But anyway, how you doing? How you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there, man. We are in baseball season. We are in it.
You sure are. You sure are.
All 3 of them were in the same tournament over the weekend.
Yeah.
Luckily, 2 of them were in the same physical location.
Okay.
which was nice to be able to like sit in one spot and watch both games at the same time.
Right.
But yeah, like as you know with baseball, the oldest one is in the slump of his life, hitting wise. You know, just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Made some great defensive plays, though. Very proud of him that he stayed in it and helped his team win the championship. And the little guy, you know, just played older team. Like they're a really young team. Like they're all 7 years old, you know, and they're playing, you know, older kids, but held his own, did good. So it's a busy time, dude. I think all but one day a week we don't have baseball. It's Mondays.
Okay.
But every other day is at least 2 of them practicing, plus anywhere from 5 to 8 baseball games over the weekend between the 3 of them. So as you can see from my very clear hat tan,
I was gonna say you do have a hat
and then the farmer's tan that I got going on.
Yeah. There's 2 different skin tones.
There is. I mean, I am ghostly white usually, you know.
Good Lord. Yeah.
My Irish blood came through thick on that one for sure. I didn't get the olive oil Italian that my middle brother got. I got the ghostly white Irishman.
That's awesome.
But you know, everyone's happy, healthy, busy as hell. You know, but it's all good. How are you doing, buddy? Happy to be back with you.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. We are counting down the days here until school is done.
Yeah, that's right.
It is spring fever, and high school spring fever is a whole nother
I can
level.
imagine is like for real.
Oh man, it is everything you know what? It's nothing you can imagine it to be. And then more. Like it is a whole nother level of insanity. So it's just, and it's busy, right? Like prom is in 2 weeks. So we got that. Then, then you hit the decline to graduation. And I mean, it's trying to keep kids focused.
Yeah.
Teenagers focused on all of this stuff right now, all the academic stuff. Like the 4th marking period might as well just be like passing prom.
Yeah.
Right. Like that is basically what you're shooting for at this point.
Yeah.
I've signed more prom guest slips and college visitation sheets in the last month or the last like week than I have in 3 months.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, just a busy time of year, man. It's just a busy time of year at a high school. Like at the elementary school, it's not
right? Sure.
And now you're up against it in a weird in a weird time of year with teenagers. So just 30 days. 30 days. 30 days.
You can do it. We all believe in you.
Can Azzy make it? This is
we all believe in you.
Woo. Yeah, buddy. I don't know about all that.
You're gonna need to pour a bourbon from the big bottle when you're done.
It's gonna have to be. So, well, we've got. I mean, it is all kinds of stuff right now. There are 2 playoff teams in the city as we speak. One we know nothing about. Good luck, Flyers.
That's right.
Flyers coverage for the evening. We'll be cheering for you. We don't know a thing. We don't know a thing about you.
F the Penguins. That's all I know.
Yeah. Go hockey.
Go Flyers. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. Well, I might actually tune in a little bit on Saturday.
Playoff hockey usually is pretty good.
Yeah, I might tune in on Saturday. I don't know what time they play though.
I have no idea either.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. And then the Sixers. Win, I would say semi-convincingly last night. Semi-convincingly, right? I wouldn't say that it was a dominant performance by any stretch. Like, I mean, it kind of up until the final 5-6 minutes was a couple possession game.
I would argue you can't really expect that from them, given Joel's absence.
Sure.
But totally with you.
Yeah, and so now I guess because we're 2 years removed from the postseason, I forgot that it is 7 games like out the gate.
Yeah.
So they enter a 7-game series with the Celtics here. starting on Sunday afternoon at 1:00, and then Tuesday. So they're in Boston Sunday, Tuesday, before coming home. And NBA does it like super weird, where it's 2-2, 1-1-1.
Yeah.
So, Regs, my assumption, I have not looked, but my assumption is that most places, I know that the Sixers are like plus 2,400 odds.
Oh yeah, they have to be wild
Yeah.
underdogs.
I mean, I think the earliest Joel can come back, the earliest that is feasibly possible, is game 3 of the first round here. And that is a stretch.
Yeah.
That is a stretch. So, that being known, I did look at the Celtics roster again today, and I was like, man, it feels as though the Sixers could put up a little bit of a fight in this series. They're going to need Tyrese to be out of his mind, and they're going to need Paul George to like find a time machine. But there was a little piece of me that said, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't have that piece of me. The
Okay,
Celtics have been
all right.
freaking unbelievable all
Yeah.
season. And like you said, it would take Maxey being maybe at like 37 points a game. You know what I mean? It would take Paul George, like you said, playing like it's 2011, or something like that, or somewhere in that time frame. And it would take VJ like turning into rookie season LeBron James. Like it would, that like, I'm not trying to bash the Sixers. I do have a take that I will share with you in just a second, but it's going to be a tough one. If they win a game, honestly, I'd be like, it'd be amazing. It'd be honestly incredible.
Well, I listen, you know what? I'll go for it. They're going to win a game.
There you go. Look,
Yeah, why not?
I want to say this very clearly before I give off my take.
Yeah, I want to hear your take.
I love how hard VJ and Tyrese Maxey play. I think we've talked about this before. It's been a while since we talked about the Sixers, but I will say it again. This basketball team desperately needed a culture shift from the process and the systematic losing, right? They needed a shift if they truly wanted to try and be a good team. And they got two guys who really give a shit. VJ plays his ass off all the time. All the time. The rebounding, the defense, the hustle plays, everything. I love it. I love it so much it's indescribable. Like, I love his attitude. Tyrese is a maniac, right? He plays forever, and he always, like, he wants to win. He just wants to win. That being said, I'm more mad that they lost their draft pick than I am happy that we now have to play the Celtics in 7 games. You know what I would have rathered? A first-round draft pick. Because this team desperately needs talent, and without a first-round draft pick, I hate it. I hate it so much. I understand that you want to win. I love it. I just, like I said, for a minute, I love the culture shift that VJ and Tyrese, more like, I'll give more credit to Tyrese, obviously, because he's been really doing it for a while. But I love the culture shift that those two are now putting on this team. I love it. I want more of it. But without a first round draft pick, this team has an unbelievable talent drop off. And I don't know. Again, maybe they trade up and figure out how to get into the first round. But what was the pick? I should have looked this up. What was the pick going to be? Do you know that off the top of your head?
No, I was just looking it up while you were talking.
I just had it somewhere. Hold on. I guess they don't really know where it's going to be because the playoffs have to play out, I would imagine, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then the lottery has to play out. So it wasn't going to be a lottery pick, I don't think.
Right. Now, wait. Don't they have, I thought they had Houston's pick.
I'm just reading that now. They will have Houston's first round pick that they got in the Jared McCain trade.
So they do have
I
that.
don't think
All right.
that's going to be as good as their own pick would have been, given their records.
Yeah, but they had to finish in the top 4 to not keep their own pick.
Yes, it would have taken a lot.
Yeah, that was never happening this year.
So good. They do have a first round pick, thank God.
Yeah.
I was a little mad that we have to give it to Oklahoma City because, God damn it, they already took my beloved Jared, and now they're taking my first, our better round pick.
Now there's a chance that they're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be the better. I mean, it's absolutely gonna be the better pick. They're not finishing higher than 22 or 23.
Yeah.
Or better than 22 and 23, I should say. They're gonna be picking in the teens at best. So, yeah, in that sense, it sucks that they're giving that to OKC. But they'll have pick 22 or 23, which Maxey was pick 21.
Yes, very happy they have something, because if they had nothing, I would have just rather lost to the Magic, and just it is what it is, right?
But they still wouldn't have been in the top 4,
no,
so they wouldn't have been protected.
Right.
So predictions wise, neither of us think they're getting out of there.
No, it'd be a miracle, truly a miracle.
Okay. Well,
like a Rudy level miracle.
Maybe. Maybe.
You know what?
Know.
That's why you play the game, right, Azzy? That's why you play the game.
That's right, baby. Maybe. All right. So we'll see where the series is at next week.
Yeah.
Neither of us has our hopes up. I agree. It has been fun watching the beginnings of VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey playing together.
Yes.
Right. And there's been some other little pieces that have been fun. Like I've enjoyed watching Bona play this year.
Sure.
Like, he's fun. He's fun defensively. And so I'm there have been pieces here and there that I look at and say, this has been fine. We'll see if that continues. We'll see if that can be built on next year. I think we both know it will not be much longer this year.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Has anyone in the history of sports had a weirder injury history than Joel Embiid?
I've talked about this ad nauseum.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about it anymore. I'm just it's unbelievable.
I'm just saying I can get behind
We can't not mention it.
I can get behind some of the criticisms of Joel, but injury prone is so unfair. Like this dude's injuries are outlandishly random.
I think you need a different word though, because as much as you don't want to say injury prone, he's hurt all the time. Like I know it's not things. Listen, I want a caveat. I know it's not things that I don't even know what you could list off. What 4 injuries could you list off that wouldn't make him injury prone? I get it that they've been the orbital bone, the getting hit in the face, the tripping over a leg, the appendectomy.
Appendicitis?
Yeah, appendicitis. I get it. I understand. I get it.
It's just unlucky.
Maybe that's the word. Maybe that's the word.
I mean, because injury prone to me it's always the same sort of thing. Like Ronald Acuna Jr. to me is injury prone because he's the knee is always an issue.
Yeah,
he's prone to an injury to the knee.
Okay,
right. But Joel getting elbowed in the face and breaking his orbital bone. Right. That's just dumb. That's bad luck.
Not vertigo, but where his eye drooped or what was that? I can't remember what it was called.
Oh my gosh. I know somebody who had it. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy.
I can't remember what it was called either.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, exactly. And they all happen at playoff time. It's always at playoff time. And then the appendectomy a week before the playoffs. It's such bad luck. Such bad luck.
Yeah, this is the basketball gods getting back at us for the process. This is what this is.
Well, screw the basketball.
You and
gods,
I
man.
firmly believe in the basketball, baseball, the sports gods.
Oh yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's absolutely real. Dude, I can't figure out what that's called when your eye droops. Oh man, someone's gonna listen to this show and be like, "You guys are idiots."
It wasn't like Bell's palsy or something, was
That's
it?
it.
Is
That's
that what
it.
it was?
That's it. Yes, he had
Okay.
Bell's palsy. Yes, that's it. Thank you, because now I feel a little less dumb. Man, oh man. Well, anyway,
Go Sixers.
go Sixers. Can't wait to watch you play on
Yep.
Sunday. All right, so draft is next week. I made a mistake on the last show, and I said it was this week. It's actually next week. I just mixed up my April dates. But I have our second mock
All
here
right.
for the people. This one has some trades in it, and then next week we will talk about when we're done with the mock. We will talk about at this point what do we want to see, because if you haven't been living under a rock, you know that they made a trade for a wide receiver last week, and one that I'm still not sold on. It means that they're going to trade AJ. I think what it means is they'll be comfortable if they do in fact trade AJ Brown, because I liked the trade itself. I like the type of player he is, but I don't know that it just immediately says, "Oh, we're trading AJ at this point." The Eagles acquired Dontavian Wicks for 2026 fifth round and 2027 sixth round pick. So at this point, they have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dontavian Wicks, and Hollywood Brown. If they traded AJ Brown, I think they'd be fine with Dontavian Wicks as a second receiver to Devontae Smith. Do I think it's going to be? They have a little bit of a crowded room right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a crowded room, and so it's possible that the AJ deal now gets done. I wouldn't be as angry about it with Wicks. I think and they extended him too. You don't just give that kind of money to a guy that you don't plan on having around, right?
Yeah.
So, your thoughts on it before I get into the mock?
I think I'm very much on your wavelength. I'm gonna be honest, like I am not like up to date on my Wicks highlights, you know what I mean? Like seeing what he did in Green Bay, I'd have to go through and sort of watch and see what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone put this, I think it was Ben Solak on Twitter, put it like, if you keep AJ Brown, you have a perfectly, like a really good serviceable next couple guys after AJ and Devontae, who can do some different things, who you can use in different ways and are like truly competent. You know what I mean? And then he said, and then if you don't keep AJ Brown, you do have one or two guys who can be like a 2A, 2B. And if your plan is to like spread the ball around, you know, and not be so reliant on just one-on-ones and things like that, if that's what your offense is truly built upon, then you're still not in a terrible position. He's like, look, it's not the greatest wide receiver room in the entire world. You know, he wasn't making that claim. But he's like, you can, like, this is not the worst thing in the world. So I think that's where I'm at. I think a lot of this is dependent on what this offense looks like and what the goals of this offense are going to be. To see how it's utilized. I am still in the camp of, I don't want to make my team worse by getting rid of AJ Brown, especially when you're trying to transition to a new offense, you know, and try and be successful at the same time. But we'll see how that plays out.
The interesting thing is that the Packers run a very much like ball sharing offense.
Yes, absolutely.
And if that's what they're trying to do in Philly now, I don't know how AJ does in a ball sharing offense. Like when you think about the Packers, you went into those games kind of thinking, well, there's not one guy that we have to stop.
Yeah.
They try and spread it around.
But do you think that was more so a talent thing or just how they intentionally set it
Well,
up?
I think it was just the way they designed their offense.
Yeah, that's
right.
fair. Yeah, sure.
So, if you're looking at sharing the ball and target share, the bulk of target share over the last 4 years has been AJ and Devontae. And if there's and Dallas, and if there's a shift in that thinking, then the obvious head to roll in this sense would be AJ, because he just doesn't have the personality to be okay with that, right? Hollywood Brown's a guy who, is fine with a portion of targets.
Yep.
Devontae just wants to win football games.
Yeah.
That's what Devontae wants. He just wants to win football games. And Dontavian Wicks is coming from a system where this is the system.
Right.
Right. So it's interesting to me. And they traded a 5th round pick and extended him.
Yeah.
So
at like $12 million, it's not a small amount.
No. So you have him for 2 years.
Yeah.
Which helps in the transition. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on all that. I do think that if it happens after June 1. They're not getting
for sure. Yeah.
So, all right. So here's what we did with this year, with this 2.0 draft. I will let you know where the trades come, and we'll go from there. So at 23, did not move from 23, and took Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver from Indiana. I do think if they take a receiver in the first 2 days, we know AJ is gone at that point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a secret. And it might be insurance that they've taken, that they traded for Wicks and they brought in Hollywood Brown. But I think if we see a receiver on days 1 and 2, you might as well just you might as well write the dead cap check now.
Pencil it in.
Yeah. Traded out of 54. Traded 54 and 187 or 197, sorry, for 64 and 96. So to Seattle. So with 64, moved down and took Genesis Smith, the safety from Arizona. I am convinced this is a position they are going to target in the draft. Convinced. I like this. I like the veterans, but they're going to take a safety early in this draft. They need to focus on that position. They need to get younger at that position. They need to have some guys who will be there for a little bit at that position.
Yeah.
So Genesis Smith, safety from Arizona. At 68, only a few picks later, we took Jennings Dunker, guard from Iowa.
What a name.
But anytime you get an offensive lineman from Iowa, you feel pretty good about it. They breed them, and especially those inside interior linemen. On a day 2 pick, that's a guy that you see as a starter here in the near future. He does have some positional versatility too. 96. At number 96, this was the other pick that we got from Seattle. Took tight end Justin Joly from NC State. Justin Joly, I believe, actually. Tight end from NC State. Actually, one of Fran Duffy's top tight ends in this draft. Can do it all. And definitely the type of guy that the Eagles could use while they're trying to replenish the tight end room. And then traded out of number 98 for number 103 and 137 to the Jets. So 2 more picks added to the room here. This might have been a little high for this guy. I've seen him drop on a lot of boards, but offensive tackle Isaiah World from Oregon. So I've seen him as late as the 6th round on some boards.
Yeah.
And I took him on day 3. On day 2. So maybe a reach, but I think it depends on the board that you're looking at. 114 took another safety out of South Carolina, Jalen Kilgore. It wouldn't shock me if they double dipped in the safety pool just because of what they have there. At 137, the other pick we got from the Jets, I did it again. Wide receiver from Notre Dame, Malachi Fields. If they take 2 wide receivers,
yeah.
then we know it's but I had to take Malachi. I love Malachi. And then 178, Max Wheelan, edge rusher from Iowa. So 153 is the pick that they traded to get Wicks. So we eliminate that pick here, knowing that. So 2 wide receivers, 2 safeties, 2 offensive linemen, tight end. I'm sorry. Yeah. Tight end and an edge rusher. It's fine. It's fine. I liked this draft. Again, Howie's a wheeler and a dealer, so it makes sense. Regz, I do believe I have. Yes, I do. I have a list of their visits to this point.
Okay.
So let me run through it real quickly, because the Eagles do take their 30 official visits very seriously.
Yeah.
And here we have 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 18 of the 30. This was sent out by Anthony DeBona yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't know if he has an updated list after the last 2 days. I don't believe he does. No, he does not. Oh, he does from yesterday, 23 hours ago, he posted. So Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, who we would all be thrilled with.
Yep.
We would all be thrilled with. Oliva Vega Ione, the guard from Penn State. We'd be thrilled with that. Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver from Indiana, who I just took in this draft. Caden Proctor, tackle from Alabama. I got to be honest, I'm not in love with Caden Proctor.
Interesting.
So we'll see. Caleb Lamu from Utah.
Yep.
Offensive tackle. Max, I'm going to butcher this name. Hennicore. Max Hennicore. Offensive tackle from Arizona State. I have seen really good things about that kid.
Yeah.
So wouldn't hate it, but he'd be a second round type of guy. Chase Besantis, offensive lineman from Texas A&M. Danny Dennis Sutton, edge rusher from Penn State. That dude has a motor. I would be obsessed with that pick. Obsessed with that pick. Chris Bell, wide receiver from Louisville. That dude can play. We would like him here. And it's interesting. They have a few wide receivers on here. Traden Stukes, defensive back from Arizona. Dejon Stribling, wide receiver from Ole Miss. Romello Height, edge rusher from Texas Tech. Jalen Kilgore, safety from South Carolina, who I just mentioned. Markel Bell, offensive lineman from Miami, Florida. That dude is a monster.
Yeah.
He is enormous. Nate Borkerker, tight end from A&M. Jude Bowery, offensive lineman from Boston College. Isaiah World, offensive lineman from Oregon, who I just mentioned. Caleb Douglas, wide receiver of Texas Tech. Bauer Sharp, tight end, LSU. Theme here was offensive line. They brought in 8, 9 offensive linemen out of their 23.
So that was going to be my question for you is, did it just work out that there were no tackles left in your mock? Or why, like, do you think they would truly try and go wide receiver before tackle in this draft?
No, there were no tackles.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there were no tackles. In this, and I even looked to trade back a little bit, but the closest tackle was he wouldn't have dropped all the way down to where I was getting the best offer. So, yeah, it would shock me. The only way I see the Eagles not taking a tackle is if Sadiq drops into like the mid to late teens and they can move up and get him, or if
the safety kid, right?
I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe if the guard from Penn State, I know, because we're talking offensive line, but I still think tackle's probably the need.
I think so too. Yeah.
But I guess if Ione is around, he's probably the best prospect at that point. And I mean, the guy didn't give up a pressure his last 2 years of college.
Yeah.
Like,
not bad. Not bad.
Well, not just he didn't give up a sack, he didn't allow a pressure.
Yeah.
So I mean that's potential to just slide right in and start over Tyler Steen day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would just shock me if offensive line wasn't the first pick for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Again, the only way I see that happening is if Sadiq finds his way down into that.
Yeah, that's really why I wanted to ask the question.
Yeah, it's time. I think the Eagles know it's time. Now, the good news is that there are day two guys, and it would shock me even less if they went offensive line with the first two picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because we don't know what to expect from Landon Dickerson. We don't know what to expect from Lane Johnson. So, you got to they just didn't have depth there last year.
I think ZB put it really interestingly on either a Philly special or something he was on. He's like, I think Sheil asked him, like, what's the one thing you want Eagles fans to know about this draft? And he's like, I want Eagles fans to be prepared for this draft is for 2028, not 2026 and 2027. Like, this isn't them retooling, to find starters. You know what I mean? This isn't them trying to fill their roster right now with like day one starters that are coming in. He wanted to be like, I really think, based on his reporting, and I'm sure his talking to people and all those things, his just knowledge of the Eagles in general, he wanted Eagles fans to be prepared that like this is going to be a refill, like the coffers kind of draft, not like make the team right now instantly better. Let's make sure we have a sustainable like entity here. And I found that very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I've thought about it that way. Because when you think about this roster, we did talk about it recently that there aren't a ton of like gaping holes, right? We talk about the defensive line. Well, I don't see an edge that's going to get to them.
Yeah.
That's going to be an impact guy from day one. Unless Vic finds like another version of Jalix Hunt out there. Linebacker, they're fine. Corner, they've bought themselves a year. Safety's the place defensively where I could see them trying to find a day one starter. Offensive line, they have 5 guys.
Yep.
They have 5 guys. So if Caden Proctor's the guy they like because of the ceiling and they want to take him, okay. Running back, they're good. Quarterback, we assume they're good. The wide receiver room is pretty stacked right now. I think it was EJ Smith who said, even if they trade AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith, Dontavian Wicks, and Hollywood Brown. That's considered one of the better wide receiver rooms in football. Like, it's still a really good room. It's not AJ Brown, but it's a good enough room that if you're scheming well, then you're going to be fine. Just a couple of little notes here from DeBona, who I love. If you don't follow Anthony DeBona, go do so. Some notable trends with the Eagles' first-round picks in recent years. 4 of their last 5 first-round picks had a reported top 30 visit. We just went through that list. Number 2, all 4 first-round picks that qualified had an RAS of 9.23 or higher.
Which for those who don't know is real athletic score, right? It's from the combine.
Yeah, correct. Sorry, I did not clarify that. And then their top first round pick in the last 5 NFL drafts was in attendance at the event. 4 projected first round picks. How about that?
Yeah.
That was crazy to me. 4 projected first round picks that visited the Eagles also check one of the other 2 boxes. Max the offensive lineman from Arizona State. He was a top 30 visit, and he had the raw athletic score of 9.23 or higher. Caden Proctor, top 30 visit, will be at the draft. Kenyon Sadiq, top 30 visit, raw athletic score of 9.23 or higher. Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle from Utah, top 30 visit, raw athletic score 9.23 or higher. So, all right, we figured out who one of their first picks is going to be. Easy enough. Thanks, Anthony. If you add your druthers, the Eagles have 3 or 4 picks on. The Eagles have 4 picks, all right, on days 1 and 2. They pick 23rd, 54th, 68th, 98th. Now, we all know that it's very possible that they make all 4 of those picks or
none of them.
None of them.
Yeah.
But let's just, for the practice of the exercise, let's frame it this way. They make all 4 picks.
Okay.
What are 2 positions that you're most hoping they come out with?
Tight end and offensive lineman.
Okay.
Offensive tackle, to be more specific.
I was going to ask you to be more specific.
Yep, a tackle.
All right. I'm going to say if I had to pick 2, I'd pick offensive tackle, offensive guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
definitely believe
opposed.
they're going to take a tight end in there, but I just want both of those spots.
Yeah.
I just feel like the offensive line it's not what we're used to. They need to get younger.
I completely agree. Yeah. I won't be mad about that, for the record. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be mad if they just use this to reload the offensive line. I'm all for it.
If pick 23 and pick 54 are offensive tackle and offensive guard, or offensive guard on offensive tackle,
whatever it is, fine. I'm cool. Yep.
High five.
Yep.
High five.
Absolutely.
We will be thrilled.
Because I truly am taking this how ZB is saying it. I'm not taking this as like, we need to make this team this next year like better. I
think that's right.
And so from that standpoint, I'd be thrilled.
I think that's right. I had not looked at it that way, at least directly.
Yeah.
We have absolutely talked about on this very show that the team is fine as constructed. They just have depth needs right now that can turn into starters down the line. So well done. Well said. Okay. So we'll be excited if, we get those things come next Friday night. We will be thrilled.
Absolutely.
If we're sitting here with those positions, and then we can chill on Saturday and see what comes of it. You know what else would be thrilling?
Having a above 500 baseball team.
How about just a competent baseball team?
Oh, well, your bar is lower than mine.
Do you want to start, or should I?
No, I want you to start, please.
I don't know that you want me to start.
I do. I actually do.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Trey Turner.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, he's been bad.
Certainly not the batting champion. Kyle Schwarber striking out way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. Bryce, I don't have a ton right now. I just want you to be smarter.
The first pitch swinging thing, I'm over it. Like, just come on, man.
Yeah, I want you to be smarter.
You say trust, trust. I have to trust my eye. I'm like, can you do it then? Can we just do it? How about?
Yeah. Adolis is what he is. Thank God for Brandon Marsh.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
Yeah.
Still can't hit lefties, but
no. JT is sort of making us eat our words early here.
Again, but he turned into having to pull the ball all the time again.
Sure.
But
sure. But I think, to be fair, if we're saying we get, JT's elite stuff behind the plate and 250, we're fine.
He should never hit a ball to left field for the rest of his career.
I'm with you.
Ever again.
I'm with you. But compared to the rest of the jabronis,
sure enough. That's a fair point.
Justin Crawford, look. I don't have a ton to say. I'm pleasantly surprised with who you are,
There's been some ups and downs. He got a little swing happy in this last series.
which is totally acceptable.
Exactly. I have been. I love the kid. I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I love him.
We have far bigger problems than Justin Crawford's,
Yeah.
excitement to swing. And two of those problems are number 5 and number 28.
God almighty.
I don't know what happened to Bryson Stott. There was a point in time when there was nobody that could convince us that Bryson Stott wasn't going to hit 280 to 300 on a year in, year out.
I want to call the Godfather. They massacred my boy.
I think on Sunday, when I was at the game, I said to my cousin, 2 years ago, we're sitting in the stands. If you tell past Mike that future Mike is at a game and it's 1st and 3rd in the 6th, 1st and 3rd in the 8th with nobody out, and he could have one guy on the 2023 team up, who would it be? To make contact and drive a run in.
Number 5.
I would have said Bryson Stott every time.
Yep.
Because what do you want in that spot? A guy with back control who can make sure that the ball is hit where it needs to be hit to score that run. I would have said you would add 2 runs if it was number 5.
Yep.
And that guy doesn't exist anymore.
Kevin Long killed him. Kevin Long killed that player.
The development of Bryson Stott will forever be. And look, I'm going to get to the other guy in a minute. But why don't they do with Bryson what they did with Brandon last year?
Yeah. I think at this point they should, honestly.
Just do it. Let Edmundo play every day. Keep Otto here as some super utility guy. Bring Reyes up and let him be the platoon in left field for a little bit. See if we can get a little bit of offense from a righty.
Yep.
When we have to face lefties, which we do every night because this is what teams do to us now.
Because we can't hit them.
It neutralizes us. We don't have guys who hit.
Yep.
And see if Bryson can go down there and find anything.
Get his superpower back. They took his super, I remember us having a show where I specifically said when Bryson came out and was like, I have to jump on first pitches. I have to get my A swing off. I said on this show, they're taking away his superpower. I understand that his superpower doesn't fit into this pull the ball, hit home runs kind of narrative that the majors is all about, or that Kevin Long is all about. But they took away his superpower. I don't care that he got to 2 strikes. I don't care that he got to 2 strikes. I don't care. His superpower was getting to that point and then being a nuisance, an absolute nuisance, who was perfectly happy to bloop a ball over the third baseman as much as he was to pull a ball down the right field line for a double. They have killed that guy, and I hate them for it. I hate them because this team needs a nuisance. This team needs desperately guys that just anger pitchers. I can't get him out. He's so annoying. Blah, 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 blah. They don't have anybody like that because they tried to turn Bryson Stott into this A-swing pull hitter. Screw you, man. He had a superpower and you killed it. You killed it. And I hate them for it. I hate them for it. And it's ruined him. It's ruined our guy, Azzy.
I mean, yeah, this is a guy who I had penciled in to be the leadoff hitter for like 3 years. And here we are talking about sending him down to AAA. And honestly, I don't know how else you save him. Like, you can't keep running him out there every day. He's a mess.
Yeah.
He's a mess. I mean, I never, this is the first time, and I can count on it. It would take me more than one hand to count the amount of times that Bryson Stott has swung and gone down to a knee. Like he is a disaster.
Yep.
But even more of a disaster is his buddy from the once known daycare. Look, man, I don't care what it takes. It's time. He's got to go.
Yeah.
He's got to go. It just doesn't work here. It does not work here. And look, I halfway, you know, I'm trying to give him grace because I can't imagine what he's going through. I can't imagine my parents doing to me what they did to him.
Right.
I can't.
Can you imagine just being in that scenario?
No, I can't. Like I cannot even begin. And look, we know if there's one thing we know about Alec Bohm, it's that mentally he just does not handle things. Like he doesn't handle the sport of baseball, something he gets to do for a job that is something we all love and wanted to do as kids.
Yeah.
He doesn't handle failure there well. So if you can't handle failure in a game well, then handling something of this magnitude, I can't imagine how much he's struggling with it. Right? So I've been trying to, like, in my head every time something happens, but like there comes a point where as a fan, it's just enough. It's exhausting to watch. Like this dude has still not pulled a ball in the air. We are 16 games into the baseball season. 18 games into the baseball season. He is yet to pull a ball in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. Here's where I'm at in general. Let me get off of Alec. I don't think I need to go on and on and on. I've made it very clear that I'm done watching Alec Bohm play for this team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Phillies didn't feel as though they were going to get what they deserved for him, and so we had to watch Alex Bregman come in and torch us for
talk about misjudging, huh?
Well, I mean, it's going to happen with all these guys. Eugenio Suarez is going to hit 13 home runs against us in a series, probably. Bo Bichette won't hit against anybody all year.
Except us, yep. He'll come in and absolutely destroy us, yep.
As soon as we play the Mets, they'll be on a 35-game losing streak.
Yep.
And they're going to come in, and Bo Bichette's going to go 12 for 14.
Yep.
And absolutely tank us.
Yep.
Because
write it down.
All of these guys we could have had, but no, we had to stick with Alec Bohm and hit him clean up.
Mm-hmm.
And his OPS isn't even my weight, and I don't weigh anything. So
it's not even my weight, and that's saying something.
So, and just because I don't want to, I mean, it's fair to pile on the offense, but like the starters haven't been good.
Yeah.
The bullpen hasn't been good. There's nothing this team does well. There's nothing that they do well. They don't pitch it well. They don't field it well. They don't hit it well. You know, we can be excited about the return of Zach. You know, hopefully Aiden Miller finds some health, but here's the problem. I don't see a turnaround because I don't see where it's coming from. Unless the top three unless they're hitting every night, there's not enough behind them to pick up the pieces if they don't come through.
Yeah.
And because of that, I don't see where the comeback's coming from. They're going to have to pitch every night. And we don't know where we're getting from Zach.
Yeah.
I'm not as worried about Zeus as other people are. I feel like they just got to figure out what's going on with runners on base.
It's also like a first pitch thing. They're just jumping on it. Like Jack had some crazy stats. Like they're hitting like 380 on first pitches or something like that.
Yeah. Which I'll be honest with you, kind of alludes to tipping.
It also just kind of feels like they know just his sequencing, like what he it's just kind of really obvious what he's going to pitch in certain situations.
Sure. So I think some of that stuff's fixable because the stuff is still like his stuff grade last night was an A. They just knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So I'm not I feel like we had this stretch in the middle of the season last year. Maybe we're just getting it now with him. Painter, like he's fine, but he's not going to save the rotation.
No, and I don't think you should be expected to.
Absolutely. We still have one more Walker start, and we have a Nola start. Oh, we're always going to have the Nola starts, and he is what he is. And Sanchi, he's going through it right now. He's battling himself a little bit.
Yeah. Like
still getting the job done.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Regs, I think in the past we've been able to convince ourselves that this team will find a way because they are who they are, what the back of the baseball card shows. I got to tell you, this team looks unmotivated.
Yeah.
They look bored. There's no jolt at all in this group. They're really hard to watch for a variety of reasons. And I just don't see what is going to cause the turnaround. I think it's the 2012 Phillies. I think they're a 500 baseball team. Maybe an 86 win team. Like maybe they can find their way to 86 wins. Maybe. But unfortunately, like I truly believe that there's a chance they could be 6.5 games out after this weekend. There's a world where the Braves just come in and beat the tar off of them.
Yeah, I didn't like it when Jack said it on the most recent High Hopes, but he's like, this might just be the year that it's 1 year too long. And just everything goes wrong. And he's like, look, some people say that maybe like 23 was their best time to do it. Maybe it was when losing the game 6 and 7, maybe that was their best chance. And he kind of said that, it might have been last year. You had Sanchez pitching to the second, Cy Young spot. You had Luzardo pitching how he did. You had Kyle hitting 56 home runs, like all these things. And then right when the playoffs started, Zach Wheeler gets hurt. Harrison Bader gets hurt. Rojas gets hurt. Justin Crawford gets hurt. You can't pinch run for Castellanos, to get a speedster on second base. You don't have your best pitcher. Your center fielder who's been on fire goes out, right? All against the Dodgers, who are this kind of team. And you still lose the way you lose to the Dodgers. And he's like, it might have been our best chance last year, and this year was just the one too many. And that's where we're at. And it's all kind of gonna go the opposite way this year. I hate it, and I'm scared of it because I've had a lot of fun watching my baseball team do well. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm not ready to go back. Like, I don't want to. But I don't know if I can escape the reality right now. And I understand it's very early in the season, blah, blah, blah. But it's going to be very difficult to get this sort of narrative out of my head about this baseball team. It's going to be very tough.
Yeah, I wish I had more words of encouragement. And I know I it's funny because Andrea's like, no, it's early, it's early and they'll turn it around. And I'm like, Andrea, I'm telling you, I've watched baseball my entire life.
Yeah.
I've watched baseball for a long, long time, and I know the difference between a team that's just off to a jittery start and a team who just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And I would love to be wrong. I would love to, at the end of May, be on here talking a totally different thing and say, hey, look, I was wrong. I would love nothing more than that, because I can't begin to describe the pain and torture of being a baseball fan who knows that their season's over in April.
Yeah.
We went through
for
that
a decade.
We went through that for a long time. I mean, we did have some years where we were like, we'll compete for a good part of the summer, right? But like those middle part of the teens, like 14, 15, 16, was just ugly.
Yeah.
It was just ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I'm not saying look, they're not going to get beat by 8-12 runs every night. That's not going to happen. They're going to settle in and pitch well enough that that's not going to be the case, right? I don't think they have the guns to hit enough to win enough games. Like, you said it. Last year they just got peak performances offensively from so many guys. And this year I just don't know that it's going to happen. Like, Trey's not going to win the batting championship.
I was going to say,
probably gonna hit.
even Marsh hit what, 300 plus towards the end of the year. Bryson was hitting 3 something, in the last few months.
After the All-Star break.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So it might just be hard to accept. And the way I answered Andrea was, we've had an awesome, like, 4 or 5 years. It's been an absolute blast, right? But it might be time to make your Netflix list of what you want to watch this summer. Because I refuse to sit and watch this highly paid of a team play poor baseball. You know this about me, and I think our listeners who have been listening for a long time know this about me. I'm fine when you lose games because you were outplayed, but they had 5 errors this series.
Yeah.
5 errors.
Yeah.
I went to a high school game the other night, and the teams had 5 errors in like combined in the game. That's high school ball.
Yeah.
I don't expect my Major League Baseball team to have 5 errors in a series.
Yep.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Like, Bryson Stott, catch the ball.
Right.
If he catches that ball from Mesa, it wasn't a perfect
Also,
throw,
can our pitchers just throw the fucking ball? Like, Jesus Christ.
No, every other team can do it. We can't.
Apparently.
We can't. We can't field a bunt cleanly and throw it to first base.
Yep.
We can't field a ground ball back to the pitcher and throw it to second base. We are incapable of doing. And look, this is a whole nother conversation. Maybe I shouldn't open this can of worms. But how much of that is on the manager?
Yeah.
Like, at what point do we finally say, Rob, maybe, like, now you pull the plug too early, it doesn't work, and then what?
Yeah, right.
So you got to be sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think April 16th is the time to do that. Bryce said the other night, we got to win the month, right? We got to win the month. And they have, I believe they have 13 games left in the month.
Yeah.
And if they go 8-5, they technically win the month. I don't think they're going to go 8-5.
Did you also see the stat that they've now lost as many series at home as they did all season last year?
Yeah, I actually said after the first one, I was like, well, not great to lose the first series when you lost all of 3 last year at home.
Yep.
Like, something is off, Regz. Something is there's just something off with this group right now. We'll never know what it is, but something stinks.
Yeah.
And we got to sit through it. We got to deal with it. Now, this weekend, fortunately for me, I got stuff to do tomorrow night. I got something to do for Saturday night. So I'm just going to.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm a glutton, but like I always have to start watching. And then at some point I, kind of stop. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just like one of those things. I love being able to turn on baseball, but it like you said, it's getting tough. Yeah,
I turned off the game last night, and I turned it off on Wednesday night. And Andrea said, she's like, I don't think I've ever seen you turn the game off 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
And I, and she's right. Even during the really bad years, I wouldn't turn it off. I would just, watch, because I knew they were going to lose. I knew, but it was about watching those guys and seeing if they could grow into anything. And, there was a different purpose in watching those games. I'm watching these games now because I expect them to win. And when they lose, it's one thing. When they lose in games that they're giving away themselves, That's an entire. I mean, I mentioned the defense, I mentioned the offense, I mentioned the pitching, but like even the base running has been crappy.
Oh
They've
my
done
God. It's been
nothing well.
atrocious. Yeah.
They've done nothing well.
Yeah.
Not one. They are the least complimentary baseball team I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
Because they don't do anything well. So there's not even one thing going right.
Right.
So, well, let me ask this because we've done a lot of conversation. So let me ask a couple questions. I'm going to start with one, and then I'm going to go from there. What 1 to 10? What's your 10 being out of my mind? 1 being don't even. Why is that a question on April 16th? What's your panic meter at?
6.
Is there anything that they could do this weekend to drop it?
Pitch well.
Just pitch well. That's all
Yeah.
you need to see.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, I'm here to tell you. I don't know how that's going to go because we got a Taiwan game on Saturday.
I know, but I just like I think if you can get, like if the pitching can get right, I believe more that offenses like go through weird lulls, you know?
Yeah.
And especially this team, I really would love the pitching to be okay.
Yeah. I think honestly, I say this, I love you. I don't know that this is the weekend to look at that.
That's fair, but you know, I gave an honest answer.
No, I appreciate it. I do. And I agree with you. I think that this team is going to win. They're built on the back of their pitching.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fair to blame the pitchers, and I know you're not.
No, yeah.
I'm just saying from a fan perspective, we shouldn't blame them because the offense has to do its job sometimes.
Absolutely.
And pick up the starters.
Yep.
All right, so let me say this then. When do they're playing like this? When does the panic meter just go off to the point where it's like, all right, I know they're done?
If it's the end of May and this is still happening, yeah, it's a 9 or 10.
If it's the end of May and this is still happening, Don Mattingly's the manager.
Yeah.
At that point, Don's the manager. If they're floating around 500 with this payroll,
yeah,
and they've got everybody back and healthy,
yep,
and they're still making mistakes and not hitting consistently, then all the excuses are gone, and then Rob is likely.
I hope Kevin Long gets fired too.
Probably both of them. Yeah, I would think both of them go at the same time.
Good.
Yeah, I would think both of them go at the same time. And I know you mean it this way. It's good Long. I think we'd both be sad to see Topper go.
Oh yeah, I was talking about Kevin Long. I wasn't talking about Topper.
I knew you were. I wanted to clarify that for listeners. I think we love Topper. We love what he's done. It's just sometimes the messaging gets stale, and it seems like that might be the case with this team. I'm not saying it is. It just feels like it could be.
Yes.
All right, one change you would make today to that you knowing that they can't go make a trade for someone right now. What is one doable change? Let me do this. I'll give you 2.
Yeah.
2 doable changes that you would make tomorrow to see if it would spark this team.
I do have 2. Number 1 is Bryson Stott is now in AAA.
Okay.
That's number 1. And number 2 is Justin Crawford is sitting 7th.
Okay.
I just want him in more chances to run and cause some chaos and stuff like that. He's going to go through his ups and downs. We've saw it this series. He was swinging at everything, swinging at balls, not swinging at strikes. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I want to give him more of an opportunity to just cause chaos. This team needs something. And I think chaos has to be it. And if you're going to ask me, the third thing is Otto Kemp never plays again.
It was a good time to sit Justin yesterday.
Yes.
It was a good time. I agreed with that.
Yeah, he needed a little reset.
Yeah, he did that the first series too. He sat him after the first series.
And look, it's his first major league series. Like there's going to be times where he just kind of is in his own head and blah, and you know, all that stuff.
For me, it's Stott to AAA. I think you try Reyes. The dude he hits.
Yep.
I don't know how you manage it because I don't know how he'll hit if he's only playing a couple times a week.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you try and I don't know. I don't know how it works. But I would try and get him here and see if you could play him 3 times a week somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And go from there. Because I think he could spark you. And I just kind of blow up the I I'd kind of blow up the lineup a bit to the point where maybe, I know you said 7th. I know that a lot of people are going to hate this, but I would try and just lead off Crawford and move the other guys around a bit. Or lead off Bryce. Like, at this point, why not?
Right.
Or go back to Kyle.
Go back to Kyle. I think I would rather take the Kyle Turner Bryce. I want Justin on the base pass when there's not a hesitation to steal. I think when he's been on there and tried to steal or thought about it, there has been hesitation from him because of the guys that are coming up behind him and this weird, stupid ass thing that these guys can't watch somebody steal a base. How about you just get the guy on second base and try and hit a single, you idiots? Why are you so bothered by a guy going from first to second? Who cares if they walk you and don't throw you a pitch? Now there's 2 guys on. Like, why is this a thing that we're still talking about? That these guys, we can't break their precious concentration that he steals a base. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my whole life. That, like, Justin Crawford can get on and you can't steal him because Trey and Kyle and Bryce don't like watching someone try and steal second base. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
So I'm going to go back for a second and just say that I think that the right move, this is the jolt. The jolt is Kyle Schwarber hitting leadoff.
That's fine, but like, can you like, am I being dumb here? Am I being stupid? That like, why is it such a big deal if Justin Crawford tries to steal when these guys are on?
So I will tell you, as someone who was a base stealer, the reason why you don't, and I'm sorry I didn't answer it before because that was your point, but I was so stuck on the Schwarber
You're
thing.
fine.
I will tell you, as a base stealer, you are taught that as a hitter with a base stealer on, you are taught not to swing the bat.
I understand that, but like, come on.
No, and there's value to that though. Think about what happened with Marshy the other day.
Yes, I understand.
And then so what happens, Regz? What happens is if you look to steal on an 0-0 count, and Kyle Schwarber gets a fastball right down the middle of the plate, he is taught not to swing at that pitch, because if he misses it, hits it on a line, they are taught not to swing at it. That's the reason why you run 2-0. That's the reason why you run 3-1, because those are typically the pitches that you're like, all right, I'm up in this count. I don't need to swing at this pitch because they're going to have to come with another strike.
But we got a bunch of guys who are swinging at everything and they're only in bad counts. They haven't been in good counts for a month and a half. That's what I mean. Like, put him somewhere else. Put him somewhere else where it doesn't matter if somebody takes a strike or something. So,
but you put him, Trey is someone who swings early.
Yes.
Trey likes to swing early. Kyle doesn't. Kyle will have an approach, and because he has to hit with Trey in front of him, right? So Trey will steal a bag here and there. These guys that's what I mean by complimentary baseball. They have to be okay doing things and taking risks and being okay with. But to your initial question, that's why. Like,
yeah.
When I
get
got
it.
on and I was told to steal, I had to find the right count to steal in.
I know. I watch my 11-year-old's team do it. I literally watch my son do it, right? If he sees somebody going, he just stands there and doesn't swing.
Yep, because that is what you were that is what you were taught to do.
I get it.
So I don't know, man. I think final thoughts, like they could very well be buried this weekend. And I'm not saying 6.5 games is an impossible feat coming back from in April, but the city seems to be losing steam quickly on them. And you lose a 3rd straight home series to a division rival who's in first place and who might have some of their voodoo magic back. Like, let's be real. I mean, you got a dude on that team who is playing basically all but playing in the independent Mexican league or the prison league, whatever that John Kruk used to play in.
Yeah.
And he's
hitting 300 with an OPS over 1,000.
He's OPS and over 1,000, right? Dom Smith was about gone in Major League Baseball, and now he's OPSing 1,000. So the Braves' voodoo magic could be back.
Yeah.
And to top it off, the Phillies will see not one but two lefties this weekend, on Friday and Saturday, and one of those is Chris Sale. So we're gonna see the Alec Boehm Otto Kemp lineup twice. So this season could be over before we even get a chance to settle into it, my friend.
Yay.
Anything else for the good of the cause, bud?
No, this is wonderful, as always.
Yeah, I'm glad that we ended on such a high note. Is there anything good about this baseball team? Like, really, outside of Justin, it's not a whole lot to be excited about.
I'm still pleased with Painter.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think both kids have been.
And like I said, I've really enjoyed Justin. I truly have. Like, I think it's been great. I think I'm not like, he had a weird weekend. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But
yeah,
I've been really pleased to see those two kids up here, and I'm genuinely excited to watch every at bat Crawford has and every pitch that Painter throws. I'm genuinely excited.
For sure. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for being here. We'll be back next week. We'll figure out how we're going to do the draft stuff. But until then, go ahead and follow wherever you get your podcasts. Follow, rate, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button below. On your socials, at the Mic Drop 5, at Big Regz with a Z on Twitter. You can head on over to Instagram at the Phixated Podcast, at TikTok, the Phixated Pod, on Facebook, the Phixated fan page, merchandise link in the show description below. We'll be back next week talking Eagles draft, maybe talking about the Phillies. I don't know. We'll see. They might not deserve our love. We might have to take a breather. We'll update you on the Sixers and the Flyers. Till then, be kind to one another. Be kind to yourselves. Tell someone that you love them. We love you. And for the love of God, can we get one series where you guys hit the baseball consistently?
See you, everybody. Screw that baseball team. Go Flyers.
Oh, my God. Deep to right field. Way up there and way out of here. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.